silly, odd things that you can do normally with your Porsche, in some cases, without your Porsche. But it's something that we look around our region and figure out who is the best person in our region that has done something kind of silly this year. So, why is it a clamp? Why did we start out with a golden clamp? John Zani, are you here?
Yep, right here.
Bring this up here for you, please.
Hey, John!
John is our last year's winner, and John is now holding this award. When it's not in John's hands, we typically have an armed guard that protects it. There's a safe deposit box that it's stored in. So actually, we're very fortunate to see it tonight. Very similar to like the Stanley Cup, you know, that when it comes out at certain times. But this is our Golden Clamp Award. So why do we have a clamp? Well, our first winner of the Golden Clamp was our current president, Doug Bainey. And way back when, Doug had a 928, and he thought it would be a very, very good idea to attach a new exhaust muffler to his car. But the size of this thing, honestly, he stole it off a Mack truck. The only time you see something that large is either a Mack truck or, like I said, a Honda Civic in a high school parking lot. John, good luck. Thank you. Hey, man. Hold on to it. It might disappear. So our inaugural winner was Doug Bainey because of the huge exhaust pipe he had. So we established the award, we established the Golden Clamp. So, previous winners. Now, normally what we've done, if you've seen our presentations in the past, is kind of just give a list of who won it before, but let's do something a little bit different. Is there a guitar in the house?
I think I saw one behind the park there.
Doug, go get the guitar first, would you please?
Okay.
Better not be a banjo.
Oh look, yep, there's a guitar.
Wow!
What a surprise. Hey, you know what, Doug? You know what else we have? I think we have some sheet music here too.
You know what? I can't see that well. How about this game right here? And I can just show people.
Hey, we can do that. We can do that too. So, for your pleasure, we are going to go through our previous Golden Clamp winners to the tune of The Brady Bunch. Doug, let me know when you're ready.
Just enough cord to hang myself. Just a couple things. Jerry, do you have like a laser light or something? Jerry, it's just when I do this goatee, Jerry has been insistently making fun of me with, sitting along with Mitch.
Okay, now, does anybody know what this is? It's a shark with a freaking laser! Jerry? Your job is to help us. So Jerry's job is to guide us along in the music.
Before we start, one of my motivations right now is that Paul said he would buy me a bottle of wine if I sang the charts to him. So Paul, here we go. And you all saw me say, what? Here's the story of the Golden Clamp. It started so many years ago. It was first won by yours truly for a deal like that belonged on a Mack truck. A Mack truck. A Mack truck. Our first winner was that Doug Bainey. Well, here's the story. story of our second winter. Red pulled the motor from his 9 to 8. But when he went to put it back, well, apparently it would not fit. He washed that engine up, and now it's stuck. The second winter was swollen motor munch. Ron's not here tonight, but one night Ron came remaining in his speedster. But when he went to leave, it wouldn't start. He said, push me, so I cocked the clutch. But don't touch the car. Don't touch the car. I'll pop the clutch. Third winter, don't touch the car seater. Hey, Janice. Yeah, sitting right there. Jim and Janice drove to parade in Charlotte. Jim had entered his car in the Concord. He won, but points were deducted for the dirt in the crack in his receipt. Dirt in the crack, dirt in his crack. Fourth winter was dirty crack, Hollingsworth. And then there's this fellow named Jerry. He just bought a beautiful new C4S. Jerry took it to the track and soon discovered four-wheel drive doesn't keep you on the track. He went off the track, four-wheeler got him back. Fifth winter was four-wheel drive bubbling. Now on to our sixth clamp winter. Kevin was leaving for parade. The Porsche's radio was not working, so he drove his M3 in the Porsche's place. He drove an M3 to Porsche parade. Our sixth winter was what BMW? I bought. Next up is our author of the story, our first female recipient, Nancy Ross. Now I've said all those words I can. She was helping Gary get the turbo ready. Her slipper touched the battery and it blew up. The slipper went boom. Boom. Well, Nancy says, whoops. Seventh winter was Nancy Swiffer Ross. Here's the story of our eighth winter. David Sykes was driving on the one tour when suddenly he heard the call of nature. Ended up with a woolly worm in his shorts. He stopped to pee. Woolly worm, pee. Eighth winter was woolly worm Sykes. Oh, now it's on to, now on to Brad Gibson. Got a lifetime achievement award, wrong chord. He's always providing new material and has a penchant for bright yellow cars. Something's going on, bright yellow cars. Ninth winter was Yellow Bird Gibson. So here's the story of last year's winter. John Zanny, he really shocked us all. When 150 in Canada, he was doing it in a Hyundai. 158 in a Hyundai. Our current winner is John Zanny. One more verse. But as we walked around the room, people were saying, what happened when? And so here you got it. So now, that's the story of the golden clam. Just just think this could be your someday, to avoid and keep your portion clean, unless to win is your wildest dream. The golden clam, the golden clam, a Portia's most coveted award.
And you want to know the best part? It gets better from here. Let me tell you. So, now we know our previous winners. How do we choose a winner? Well, the current award winner, in this case it was our friend John, said, John, where are you now? Oh, there he is, still holding the plan. John's job, the current winner, is to digitally look at what every member is doing all year long. There are no events, there are no Saturday morning coffees, there are no meetings that John is not observing. So you can't get away. So John's job is to sift through all the candidates to find the one who's most deserving of the Golden Crown. So, what you've all been waiting for, the 2015 nominees. Oh, but first. But first, I usually get made fun of because I'm standing up here with a wine glass and I'm slopping and I'm making a real mess. So, I just want you to know that I now have a wine glass, a little sipping cup with it. So it's perfectly fine for me to now walk around. So, anyway, on a serious note, and honestly, this is a serious note, we really have had some major incidents this year where some of our members have actually caused physical damage to their car. So our Golden Pap Award is really done, honestly done in the spirit of fun. So, you know, if you do something really bad to your car, honestly make a mess of it. We're not going to make fun of your serious misfortune. So, with that in mind, here are two incidents that, just so you know, we didn't even consider these. You know, this is something that, you know, we really won't even tell you what happened. So just so you have an idea of the things that, you know, we wouldn't let people know about. What does that look like? Let's see if we can find it here somewhere.
Get a mat. Get a mat.
It should be right there.
You get the award for this one.
Let's see if we can find it.
16.
Well, kids.
Sounds good.
Technology is a wonderful thing. So, I'm sad to say, I'll see if I can get it working later. And honestly, one of our members took his gorgeous Cayman R to the EIR, and we were fortunate enough to get in-car video. And this is an honest thing where Longming took his Cayman R off track at the EIR and ran into a tire wall. So, sadly, with a flash and a poof, and I'm sorry Guangming isn't here, these are Guangming's actual words, with a flash and a poof, this is what happens to the green frog. So, sadly, but fortunately, other than Guanming's pride and obviously his wallet, the Green Frog lives again. It's back in full working order. Guanming has his car back, and he says it's better than ever. And oh, by the way, he did get Guanming's passion. He sent us the video. He said, "Yep, perfectly fine to talk about it." Okay, let's move on now. Everybody knows Sesame Street, right? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't mean oh my God. Oh. Now, for those in the know, those are spark plugs. And you might want to notice that one of those is just slightly different than the other. So, what happens when you put all those spark plugs in the same Cayman engine? Normally the clearances are just a little bit tight between the end of the spark plug and the top of the piston. But fortunately, the internal damage was very, very light. Didn't cause any problems at all. So there's really no issues with the engine damage. But there again, this was Mike Santawasso, and sorry Mike is not here again tonight. I'm thinking that maybe Guanming and Mike kind of knew that something was going on here. But seriously, Mike was able to get the Cayman back on the road. He and Becky took a wonderful drive down the Blue Ridge Parkway. And again, Mike did give us his blessing too. Okay. Now to the real runners-up. And now, this is a surprise, I hope, for everybody.
Not for two people.
Yeah, about 2 people. So this was 2 guys in our club dining alone. Now, whose cars would that be? Okay, these 2 guys, on one of our trips to the Spencer Travel Museum, decided to go in their own group of 2. So, hey, we don't want to drive with the whole group. We're just going to go together.
We started out with 6.
Yeah. So, hey, for some reason, these 2 guys are the first ones to arrive. It's like, that's interesting. Why? Well, because they see one of these things when they're traveling down the road at about 140? They see one of these things. Oh, wait. What is... Now, most of us would see one of these things and we think, I know what that means. But no, not these 2 guys. You see one of those, and what does it mean? Speed through on purpose! So these 2 guys blew to a stop sign at about 140. So, our first nominee, Ralph, what stop sign? More. And Mark, what stop sign ever? Again, those of you who have been here before.
Those are my sisters.
Yeah. I think every year we've done this presentation, Mark has somehow ended up in the nominee bunch, and always with some gorgeous grid girls. Now, I'm not sure what this is, but
Just lucky.
yeah, we couldn't do a presentation without a picture of Mark and his grid girls.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God, this is never a good sign. What is it? Oh, if you can't read that, it says fire rescue. Oh my God. Well, we might recognize that car there. But, just that alone isn't really a good sign. But oh my God, oh, is that fire? Is that fire we see in the engine compartment? Oh my God. Oh. Well, fortunately, it was just a very, very small fire caused by a bad starter, and it really was just very, very quickly. There was no lasting damage to the car at all. So wait a minute, where did that starter come from? Just one more little addition you might notice here on this slide. And Brad, I'm gonna have to make fun of you again. I mean, sorry. But thanks to Brad's brother, there is now a hashtag, hashtag Brad Gibson, that whenever there's something really silly that somebody does and kind of reminds you of what Brad Gibson would do, go look on Twitter. I mean, who knows, the things you're gonna find are the hashtag Brad Gibson. Ooh, you know? One of our members this year starred in his own movie. He tried to keep it quiet. It's probably not going to work, but we did manage to find the movie here online.
Yeah, this will work great.
Yeah, this will work great. Yeah, trust me, I'm a doctor.
Did all these people give you permission to do this?
We don't stay no thinking about Chris.
We talked to everybody here.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
You can tell this garage was meant to be somewhat social, that's why there are two stools. You see all that messy dirt on the underside of the grill? I can't believe it.
Well, as much as I'd love to show you the whole video, it's, I don't know, 50 seconds into it, and I mean, when I watched it the first time, I was asleep by now anyway. We can send everybody the link.
Put it on Facebook.
So, now you probably recognize Tom there, but what many of you actually didn't know is that he actually started another movie quite some time ago. It involved Porsches. And we're able to get some shots of with his co-star Kelly there. So, our next nominee is Tom Cruise.
Have a breather there, Kevin. Time to take over. Let's see. Well, you control that screen if you would. I know you're really good at it. On behalf of the Golden Clam Awards Committee, and specifically John Ziddy, for getting that speeding 150 kilometers or miles an hour.
It was only 135.
135. I see. I think I was chosen for the Canadian connection on this. But welcome, and these are hard acts to follow. Looks like we have great fodder for this year's Golden Clamp Award. And not to be outdone, our illustrious past President Kevin is in the running this year as well. He didn't know it, but now we know. Kevin?
Get another BMW?
You know, times are tough. Recession of 08, 09, Kevin's just coming out of it. Recent graduate, daughter lawyer in the Northeast. Got the turbo with the red light on the dash that he doesn't know what to do with. He could use a little extra coin. So what does he do? It's Kevin Hawker Heimbach. Here he is, selling a float, a new use for a Porsche Turbo. Trunk.
Wait a minute, is that where my t-shirt is?
And he uses the body of the car for the change room. One person out at a time. I actually bought 2 shirts that day. This wasn't even at a Porsche meeting. He was out in Fayetteville. He Anyways, with that said, Kevin, good luck, the Hawker Heimbach Golden Kind Award. Hopefully you don't get it.
This is what happens when I leave my laptop open up here, so thank you, Greg. Okay. Well, as many of you know, as we talked about recently, we have had an election and we've elected a new president. And as we've seen earlier in our presentation, our president had a absolutely gorgeous 928 with this beautiful exhaust pipe. But what perhaps you didn't know is that 928 was sold a little while ago, before the election. So, did we elect a president that doesn't even own a Porsche? Well, fortunately though, Doug did redeem himself. He bought a Boxster. But wait. It's a Boxster, but he really only partially redeemed himself because he's going to stuff a Chevy in the Boxster. So our next nominee is Doug V8 Bailey. So unlike Doug, not enough Porsches. A typical problem that most members have is just too many Porsches. What do we do with them? Well, one of our members said, you know, I got all these Porsches, where do I store them? So, hey, I'm going to install a lift in my garage. I can put the Porsches there. Perfect fit. Look at that. I mean, they stack perfectly. Oh, let's... Oh, no, hey, that looks pretty good to me. Oops. Yeah, I saw Randall, perfect fit. Brian over here. Now, what makes this story even interesting is that virtually everyone that Randall talked to said, hey, the first thing you got to do is get a lift kit for your garage door so that you don't put the garage door down on top. So what happened, Randall? Oops. Okay. Does anyone know what this car is? A GT4. Okay. So on June 23rd, 2015, at the National Porsche Club meeting, Porsche unveiled this car as the first Cayman GT4 in the country. Well, okay, for those non-Porsche files, the GT4 is like, you know, in the middle of the year was like the car to have. Everyone in the world wanted one of these things. Okay, so, does anyone know what this is? Hey, okay, this, on June 19th, about a week earlier, this picture was taken by one of our members, in his garage. Okay? This was the real, honestly, this is the real first Cayman GT4 into the country. So we see this stuff and we're thinking, oh my God, this is awesome. Okay? We got a GT4 here. We get to see this at all of our events. This is really, really cool. Does anyone know what this is? Okay, this is Ivan with his GT4. But what's important is that, look how he's dressed. I think that's Bill back in the background there with the jacket. On November 7th, 2015, 5 months later, this is the first time that any of our members actually get to see the first Cayman GT4 in the country. So we have a member here that has the most sought-after cars in the country, and he hides it in his garage. So Ivan, what GT4? Silver. Okay. Now, this is really what we've all been waiting for. We've gone through our nominees. But to be a winner, to be a true winner, one has to go above and beyond the things that us mere mortals do. they exceed expectations. They have to prove again and again and again that they can do what it takes to achieve success. This is a real winner. And they show everyone that they are truly worthy of the Golden Clamp. So it's not just one thing. For our 2015 winner, this is where his qualifications started. One of his cars piddling on the floor. But it's not just one thing, it's another. Oh, this is another of his cars piddling on the floor. Just so you know, I mean, water-cooled Porsches really shouldn't be spewing water on the garage floor. But it continues. Yes, that is a stripe of yellow electrical tape wrapped around the steering wheel of his car. And what we're told is that's good for an extra 10 horsepower. Oh my God. And who can forget? Oh, and if any of you are on Facebook, we get people that post stuff on Facebook that says, hey, what do you think of this mod to my car? Normally, you know, some people like it, some people don't. Even if the people don't really like it, they're at least polite and say, you know, it's not really to my taste, but it, you know, looks good on you. Looks good on you, though. In this case, no. There were about 1,000 responses, and they all said, oh my God, this looks like shit. But the icing on the cake, the truly defining moment, the final factor, the winning event, the clinching event is this member on a PCA event stopped at a rest stop to fill up. And we were very fortunate. We were able to actually capture security camera footage, some still photos from the petrol station where it filled up. So we see there, this was camera 11, obviously at November 21st, and we can see the car there getting ready to fill up. So of course I'm at a rest stop, so our member says, hey, you know what, this is a good time to personally empty out. You get my drift? So he visits the men's room. So coming back from the men's room, back to the car, and he sees, oh my God, the rest of the group is leaving. So jumps in his car and he leaves the phone out. Oh my God! So unfortunately we couldn't get video, we could just capture stills, but you know, but fortunately, you know, the damage to the gas station was minimal, and you know, the customer really isn't responsible for that. So, you know, the other customers that were there really had no problems whatsoever, and you know, the gas station itself was perfectly fine, and fortunately, you know, there was really no lasting damage to the car whatsoever. So, you know, and it just wasn't a bad idea at all. So, to present our current 2015 winner, let me invite up John Speedy Zotti. Presenting our first repeat winner, Brad Coles Gibson. So, for those of you that are on Twitter, that are on Facebook, now you know. When you see hashtag Brad Gibson, you will always think of our Golden Clamp winner. And remember, You may be next. Thank you very much to everyone. A lot of help getting this put together, so thank you very much. Pardon me?
Announce the DJ.
The DJ? I thought Tom was going to say something.
Oh, Tom's
Oh yeah, oh my God, I forgot. How quickly we forget. Once you're a past president, you just kind of step into the background and no one really remembers that you're around. But Tom, we do remember. Tom?
Yes. Brett, I've done many dumb things. I keep quiet. People don't know. There's one of them. I've harped on this over the years that I've been president. We don't do it without a lot of help. And I would like to recognize the people that have helped us, that have led events and done things throughout the year. Jerry started this by awarding some of these fine Porsche calendars. Kevin kept it up when he was president. I've continued it, except that I refuse to bring 15 or 20 calendars here to give them out. But I would like to recognize everybody, and the few of you from out of town, I'd like to take your calendars back with you. Briefly, Doug Bain, thank you for your help. That's our vice president. Yeah, go get up here again. No, I'm not going to give you down. You're local. And certainly, being vice president is easy, but putting this event on year after year is not easy. Thank you. Kevin Heinlaw, what is it you do? But thank you for doing it. We appreciate it. Bryson Kaiser is our treasurer. Bryson doesn't. Our treasurer also puts on some fine events. Most of you know him, even though he lives far away. Mike Santuaso, aforementioned, Spark Plug Mike. He's retired as our secretary. He's on the list. God, I hate to bring up Brad Gibson again. You're getting too much press. But thank you for your help as the barbecue meister and as our incoming vice president. Brian Tucker. Every club needs a good sommelier. And maybe our best loved event is his wine tasting.
Yeah.
Ralph Moore has been our tech chair for the last year. Thank you for your help. Jim Lamb might have the toughest gig. He puts out the newsletter, and nobody sends him anything to put in it. I hope you can get it to continue. Reiner, are you and Lisa here? I've heard rumors of you. There you are. Thank you for your help. They put together a tour, helped on another tour, and are going to do some more. Don't make it like your calendar because you live far away. Fred Rothfeld is our membership chair, done a fine job for many years. Fred's not here, I don't think. I've lost you in meetings before, I apologize. I'll have to find you early on. Jerry McGolden, thank you for all your help. Thank you for being very kind. Jerry is certainly one of the backbones of the club. Background is something here. Steve Seidel, I'm scared to say nobody's here. I don't think Steve's here. He's been our trash meister. That's an important gig in the club. You wouldn't know. Sean Gillen.
Sean's here.
Jenny Johnson. Sean and Margaret together created our logo. Sean created the t-shirt that Kevin was selling out of the back and front of his car. We appreciate you. Thank you for your help. I've got a calendar with your name on it. Jacob Hurd is not here, he does our hard crosses. Guan Ming has helped with the computer, he's on the list. Brian Glover has another thankless task, he's in charge of our name badges. Thank you for that, Brian. Anyone who doesn't have the snizzy new name tag, he probably has one, he'll get it for you momentarily. But we're having some trouble with our supplier, we'll get them quickly. Dan Keene, thank you for your help as our advertising clerk. David Clay helps with our group out of Bloomington, we appreciate him. And I'm sorry to take up a lot of time doing that, but all of you people deserve those thanks, and I appreciate what you've done. And thanks most of all to Doug Bainey, because I don't have to do this anymore. Thank you.
You don't get to sit down yet. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. We can't thank you enough for all you do. I know there's a ton of hours you put into this, and it's your heart and soul. And the club wants to say thank you. And you can actually open that if you wish in front of everybody. Good luck with that thing. I have my pocket.
I took a copy of that top of your picture. I thought I was doing it. That wasn't top gear, was it? Either one would work.
Now, Tom, this is not a gang gift like last time, okay? And the packaging is just to make sure that it wasn't damaged inside. So it's not like a box in a box.
It's not a pizza to go with last year.
It's not a pizza that goes to the
Well, look.
What is it?
It's like a box. Wow, several boxes. Great package. Ah. Come on. Jesus.
There we go.
Hey. It's a picture of a Fiat.
Tom, that's a special edition of Night While it's on a special canvas done by an artist that
Beautiful.
is renowned.
Wow.
And I thought, perfect garage art for your next film. You can have that in the background. Okay, everybody, we have, that kind of wraps up that portion of the evening, but we're far from being done here. There's still wine to be drank, and more importantly, we have, you can't see him because he's behind the curtain, I think we'll move that. Mark McNally is here with us this evening, and he's going to provide us with music, and we have a dance floor. And Tom has one.
I forgot my list of names, and I made it up again. Alan,
Yes.
thank you for your help. Please do it. I already gave you your gallon, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I remembered something. Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, so we're going to get the dance floor going and some music, and it will be tailored to hopefully what we all like, and the volume is controlled by one knob, so if there's going louder or quieter, just let Mark know. And we also want to mention that some of you folks are already there, but feel free to stop by our hospitality suite. It's in 322 and 324 at the Marriott, right up the road here. We have this room till 11, so relax, have fun, and enjoy the rest of the evening, and talk with all our friends and fellow Portuguese.